inning. What were you guys able to do to get to Arrieta?
I mean, I can't speak for everyone. I can speak for myself. I mean, I feel like he made me look like a little leaguer in the first at bat. I mean, I feel like this game is so much about preparation and then, having the willingness to kind of rethink your plan. I think I went up there with a bad plan my first at bat. Like I said, he made me look like a little leaguer up there, and I got back to kind of focusing on my strengths, not so much how he was going to pitch me, and was able to get myself in a good count and get a good pitch to hit. I mean, I think we all put in the work. I think sometimes we forget how mental this game is. It's not always your swing. Sometimes it's your approach. And I think that was a perfect example of just kind of flushing the first at bat, going back, watching a little video, seeing how he pitched me, and being okay with taking certain pitches and hunting an area where I felt a little bit more comfortable being able to do some damage.
Kevin, what is that balance, especially in today's game where there's so much access to how these pitchers pitch, and you can formulate a game plan based on how you expect them to pitch you? What is that balance sometimes between working your strengths versus trying to kind of predict what they're going to do to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, we meet every single day about the starting pitcher. We meet, a little bit about some high leverage guys in the bullpen, and as guys come into the game, we kind of dissect the plan real quick. But yeah, the information is definitely useful and it's there to help you. But the challenge from the hitting coach perspective is we all have different strengths and weaknesses. So I think absorbing the information, understanding the action of the pitches is where the analytics and the preparation comes in. But I think so seldomly we forget about what our strengths are as hitters and what areas of the plate we do a little bit more damage on, and trying to balance the two, understanding where his out pitch is going to be, where he's going to try to expand in the zone, and then just kind of formulate a plan that still kind of, fits your strengths, and be willing to take certain pitches. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm still understanding that to cover the entire plate is a challenging thing. To be ready to hit all quadrants, all pitches at the same time is very difficult, especially with how advanced pitching is, being able to tunnel pitches and disguise pitches a little bit longer. So really just getting back to what I do best, and hunting pitches where I feel like I can, contribute.
Thanks.
Justin, you're up.
Hey, Kevin, when you've got a young guy like David Peterson who has a couple rough starts and then bounces back tonight, how nice is that to see as a teammate?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I've gotten to know Petey really well over the course of the year. Consider him a good friend, and I want to see him succeed. He had a pretty unbelievable rookie year last year in the short season. He's shown flashes of what he was able to do last year. The numbers on the surface don't look very good, but he's given us some really good starts. I know he's coming off a rough last two starts, but I think it just comes down to kind of the culture and the environment we've created in here, that we believe in him. He knows that we believe in him. Louis believes in him. Our pitching coach believes in him. This organization believes in him. And I feel like you reiterate that enough, it builds confidence in him. And I don't think he's ever kind of wavered in the confidence department. I think it's just a matter of him getting out there, executing his pitches like he did tonight, and show how dominant he can be on every fifth day. And hopefully this is something where he just builds off of and gets on a nice little run here, and contributes to an already really good pitching staff we have.
And then you play behind him. What's his best asset as a pitcher, whether it be his stuff, his poise, anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of both. I mean, I think even in some of his, not so good outings, he never seems phased. He never seems rattled out there. He's obviously disappointed himself because he expects better out of himself, and we expect better out of him too. And I know when he takes the ball, he wants to help this team, put us in a position to win. And he wasn't able to do that the last couple starts. But it's a combination of his poise, his confidence, his attention to detail. He works his butt off in between starts. He's trying to fine tune his stuff in the bullpen, and then you just got to factor in he's got good stuff. When he's commanding, 3-4 pitches, it's a tough day for a hitter.
Thank you.
Mike Vaccaro, you have the next question.
Hi, Kevin. It wasn't that long ago that the knock against this team was that you guys fattened up against bad teams. and struggled a little bit against teams with winning records, but now played 8 games recently against the Padres and the Cubs, who are, pretty good teams, first place teams. What do you say about that, and what does it tell you about where the team has gotten to?
You look like you're working hard, by the way. I don't really know how to answer. It's obviously nice that we've been able to come out and play some teams with winning records and been able to go out there and win series. I just think early on in the season, we had trouble kind of, putting all facets of the game together. We got good outings. We didn't hit. We got bad outings. We hit. We didn't play very good defense at the beginning. I think, despite everything that's happened with guys going down, we've had guys been able to step up and get into a rhythm. And I think it's only going to make this team even more dangerous going forward when we get everyone back. I've had opportunity to play. I've had opportunity to build confidence in myself and, understand I could still do this and be a huge asset to this team. You got guys like VR get an opportunity to play, but everyone's been able to step up. But it's obviously nice. I think, we understand that we're a talented group. We understand that we're a good group. I think we've been playing good baseball, and I don't think we shy away from any sort of competition.
Thank you.
Kevin, thank you very much for your time. David, thank you very much for joining us. Your first question is from Steve Gelbs.
David, what were you most pleased with tonight?
I think just obviously great team win. It was great. Defense is always there. Obviously, it's a broken record saying that, but it never goes unnoticed. It's never not appreciated. And then the offense did what they had to do. They grinded it out. But I think it came down to just being able to execute, executing pitches throughout the night. And I think that led to what happened.
I know, James McCann had said that all he wanted you to do was put everything else out of your mind, focus on whatever pitch he was putting down and just try and execute that pitch, not think beyond that. It looked like you were able to do that, work fast tonight. I guess what was the difference mentally for you tonight, if there was one, versus some of the other starts this year?
Well, I think the goal is just being able to take the start as one pitch at a time. That's all you can do is throw one at a time. And so I think when we simplify it down to that and really focus on each pitch and executing that pitch, the results will come. You can't really control what happens when it leaves your hands. So being able to do everything that I could to execute pitches. And yeah, we were on the same page, James and I, and he's great back there with calling pitches.
We'll go to Tim Healy next.
Is it a relief at all to have a game like this after your last couple?
Yeah, I mean, it felt good. Like I said, being able to execute over and over again tonight felt really good.
And early on, the Cubs had a couple hard hit balls, and they all turned into outs. Did those not hurting you? Was that important as far as you settling in for your last 3 or 4 innings?
Yeah. I mean, hard hit or not, they were caught. They were outs. So.
Tony, you're up.
Hey, David, I know after the last couple, as you've said, the motivation is just to turn the page and move on. But how hard is that? I mean, you're a human being. To go through a 3-4 star stretch like you did, how much did that weigh on you, and how difficult was it maybe to not stew on it a little bit as you prepared for this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's part of the job. Obviously, you're going to have tough starts. You're going to go through rough patches. Everyone that's played this game has gone through a rough patch. But I think being able to turn the page as quick as you can and really put it out of your mind. Once you walk away from the field, what happened has happened, and like I said, the past couple of weeks, just being able to get on to the next one.
Thank you.
Next question is from Bruce Beck.
David, what did the length mean to you tonight? How important was that, and how satisfying is it to you?
The what?
The length that you got in this ball game. Just the ability to go 6.
Yeah, I think it's big. I think we've got the bullpen guys are always working, and so being able to take that game into the 6th, and then I think it's huge. I think it helps us out not only tonight, but I think it helps us out the rest of the series.
And having a front row seat to watch DeGrom and Stroman the way that they've pitched this year, and also Walker, do you think that is a positive as far as you're concerned?
Absolutely. I think those 3 guys have done a great job at the top of the rotation. I think Joey's thrown the hell out of the ball. And it's a team effort. Stroh said this over and over again, but being able to have a staff where we talk openly every day, bounce stuff off of each other, give each other confidence, critique each other when we see something. I think it's huge. It's the level of communication that we have, the work ethic that every guy in that locker room has is very important.
We'll go to Disha next.
Hey, David, you mentioned McCann. How much did his direction and pitch calling help you sort of stick to your approach? And was it something both of you talked about before tonight?
Yeah, it was huge. Like I said, I've mentioned it a couple of times. It was, yeah, it was great. We obviously game plan before every start, and we go over what the lineup looks like and what our plan is against them. And so it makes your job a lot easier when you're on the same page, whether it's McCann back there, whether it's Nito. I mean, they do their homework. They get prepared just like anybody else does. And so I think that makes it a lot easier on us when you can step up there and have confidence that what they're going to throw down is something that you want to throw and execute.
Thank you.
Justin Toscano, your line is open.
Hey, David, a few days ago, Zach Scott said that he thought you'd pitch better than the numbers would indicate. I'm wondering if you felt the same way before this start, and if so, why?
Yeah. I mean, like I've said, it's about turning the page and getting on to the next one and being able to work on what you need to work on and build off of the positives. And it's happened in the past. And so I think that gives me confidence that I've done it before. And to watch the other 4 guys in between my starts do what they do is even more motivation to go out there and pitch well. And then to see the bullpen come in and shut the door when we come out of the game gives you a lot of confidence. And then obviously knowing that the defense and the offense has our back it's a great feeling.
Thank you.
Your final question is from Ed Coleman.
Hey, David. It looked like the slider was a lot sharper tonight. Why was it better for you tonight?
I think it's a multitude of things. I think, like I've said multiple times, being able to execute it, but also just continuously working on it. When it's not good, being able to work on adjusting. When it is good, continuing to build off of it. So I think just always being on top of it and making sure that every pitch is there for me is key.
Was it something you worked on a little bit more in between starts or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're struggling with something, you put a little more emphasis on it. But like I said, being able to work on all my pitches between starts has been good. And so, yeah, I think it's helped.
David, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Dom, thank you very much for joining us. If you'd like to ask a question, please use the raise your hand feature located underneath the reactions tab. Your first question tonight will come from Mike Mancuso.
Hey, Dom, can you talk about the offense tonight coming through with 2 out runs? I think all the runs were scored with 2 outs tonight.
Yeah, it just shows, like I said in previous interviews, just how just get this team. And I mean, we're resilient. I know we haven't been the best team when it comes to hitting with runners in scoring position and probably hitting with 2 outs and runners in the scoring position, but we're a resilient group and we try to get better every day. So we're just trying to improve on an everyday basis. And I mean, just show tonight, we were able to come through with some clutch hits. I mean, this was a big attest to, James McCann, he kept the inning going. I mean, Billy got the walk and then James got the big knock. And then obviously it led to Kevin Pillar getting a big 2-out double, which was huge for us. So it keeps just showing how this team competes on an every night basis.
Thank you.
Your next question is from Dave Lennon.
Dom, that 400-foot plus home run into the batter's eye, as impressive as that was, can you explain what was going on with that handshake with you and Pete in the on-deck circle with the movie camera and snapshot thing I think that was happening?
Yeah, I mean, we like to do handshakes, and I mean, this league is about trying to show your emotions and trying to let the kids play. I mean, as MLB would say. So we're just trying to join in with the fun and just trying to flex our muscles. That was a big bomb, and that's just a part of our handshake. He hits big bombs, and I do the same thing when he goes deep. So we just try to have fun with it as much as we can, and obviously keep it professional. We're not trying to show up anybody, but just trying to show our personality.
How did Pete come up with like the movie thing and the camera? That was pretty creative.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we just did the point at the end, and then one day he just surprised me and dropped down to a knee and started taking pictures. So, I mean, we can kind of do anything, but we just been going with a flex lately. We might switch it up. I might do a different pose, but we just try to have fun with it, like I said. And I mean, he's pretty creative and just a great teammate to have.
Thanks, Tom.
Justin, you're up.
Hey, Dom, given some of his recent struggles, how nice was it to see Peterson pitch as well as he did tonight?
I mean, it's huge. This team, we're a close-knit group, and I mean, we believe in David, and we know how good he is and how good he can be, and he showed it tonight, and he showed it in the past. So that's just something that we just want to keep, giving him, the support he needs to go out there and compete. And I mean, he showed it tonight. I mean, that's a number one team over there in their division. So to go against a good club like that and compete and show them that he wasn't afraid, that's something that, like I said, we know, and we're just happy he was able to do it tonight.
And then how much did batting third help you tonight, if at all?
I mean, it's always, pretty neat when you have a guy like Pete hit behind you. And that's no disrespect to my whole lineup. My whole lineup is great. But obviously Pete, with the power he has and the fact that he can hit the ball out the park at any moment, a lot of teams don't want pretty much anybody on base when he comes up. So it took obviously a little bit of pressure off of me, and I just tried to just put good swings on pitches and get on base and didn't try to do too much, and I was able to hit the ball hard tonight.
Thank you.
Oh.
We'll go to Bruce Beck next.
Tom, was this game a relief for you tonight? And how did you stay patient and stay positive during a little bit of a rough patch?
I don't want to say it's a release. This year is going to be a long year. I'm going to deal with a lot of failure. And I think it's just the combination of just figuring out my body and how to just work through certain things. And I mean, we're in a long stretch, so sometimes some days you're tired, some days that for me, for instance, like over the weekend, I didn't feel like I had my legs under me and I was too wide in the box. So just tweaking little things. Like tonight, I was a little bit more narrow. I was able to control my movement forward, and I think that was the reason why I was able to be patient at the plate and not chase. So I think just picking up on those things a little bit faster, just knowing how your body feels, if you're fatiguing or not, and then trying to make those little adjustments. And I think I was able to do that tonight, and I just want to keep doing that as they come. Baseball's tough. You got to make adjustments every day, and the good players can make them a little bit faster than others, and I'm just trying to get on that page.
Your final question will come from Ed Coleman.
Hey, Dom, actually two things. One, a lot of times when somebody's in, a slump or a funk, a walk is a big thing to get you out. How big was that walk in the first inning just to kind of set the tone there for you?
I think it was huge. Jake Arrieta is a great pitcher. And just to the fact that, he's nibbling around the zone and he's trying to get me out, and the fact that I was able to lay off tough pitches. I wasn't able to do that over the weekend. I chased a bunch, and I think it goes back to, like I said, me not having my legs under me. And I felt good. I went through my routine today. I had a purpose for it. And when I went into the game, I just felt very confident. I felt very good, and I was just able to stay balanced. So I was able to lay off those pitches. And if I'm in a good position to hit, if I'm balanced, I'm going to be a dangerous player in that box. So I just have to get consistent with that. And when I do, that's when I go on my little hot streak.
The three guys at the top of the rotation have been incredibly consistent, but it's a long season, and you're going to need more people than that. So how good was it to see Peterson bounce back tonight?
Oh, it was great. We all love David, and he's a bulldog out there, and we're all going to go through a little bit of failure in this game. This game is a humbling game, and I think the biggest thing is, what do you do after that failure, and how do you challenge that? And I think he did a great job tonight, like I said, against a first place team over there. And I know what he's capable of, and he just has to keep doing it consistently. And I think this is a great step in the right direction.
Thanks.
Dom, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a great one.
Attention members of the media, as an FYI, tomorrow the clubhouse will open at 4 p.m. So there will likely be no batting practice. Just want to give you a heads up as you plan about your day. We still intend to keep field availability open, but the clubhouse itself won't open until 4 p.m. So players will not show up until later as well. So there will likely be no batting practice. Thank you. Luis, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Your first question tonight will come from Steve Gelbs.
Hey, Luis, what was different about the way David Peterson pitched tonight, approached the start?
The two things for me. The command, had good command, right? It was attacking batters. He didn't shy away of the zone. That's a really good lineup. They didn't have bias in the starting lineup, but they had a really good lineup going on. That kid that hit the homer against us, he got a bunch of homers, and I don't think he even reached a 60 at bat. So just a deep lineup, and he didn't shy away. He attacked them, and the slider. That's the pitch. And then he had it. He showed it since the first inning. He was throwing it for a strike. He had a couple of guys chase it as well. So that's him. That sinker slider is that's his mix. So I'm glad that he insisted with it and he trusted it, and he was able to throw it for strike and for chase, and he had a good feel for it. So just a great outing. I think that's what translated that into the result that he got for the 6 innings.
He's generally a pretty stoic guy out there, but that last strikeout, you could see, obviously how fired up he was. Just could you sense, I guess, how much the last few starts have been wearing on him, and how big of a lift tonight was for him mentally?
Huge. I mean, huge. We had some talks in between the last start and this start, and we always talk. I mean, he's solid, just a good kid and great poise, but he's human, right? So, he didn't deny that he thought a lot of things, just from, past performances. So, we had a different talk, in between this start and the last one. And he was honest with me about how he was approaching things. And I told him he shouldn't be thinking of, anything else rather than, competing and getting guys out. And because he has really good stuff, and he showed it again, tonight. So I'm glad that he, stuck to trusting his stuff and not thinking negatively with his approach. Like, I can't let this happen or anything like that. He rather went, I'm getting this guy out, I'm putting this pitch right here. And then that's what he did. He just followed the plan. He attacked and he executed.
Next up, we'll go to Anthony DeComo.
Hey, Luis. I was curious what that pregame umpire review was about before the game had even started.
Yeah, there was something going with the replay, but it got fixed. I believe that their manager made a Tripp aware, one of their umpires, of what was going on, and they met right after Petey threw his last warm-up pitch. So that's why I went out to find out, because I didn't know at that time, but they told me that the replay was messed up. It was just not right. But then, things got fixed, and we started the game.
Got it. Thank you.
Your next question is from Tim Healy.
How can Peterson repeat this sort of performance?
Just carry the same mindset, I think. Going to be a different team. And this is a tough team to face. I mean, they've been hitting, and they've been hitting homers. They one inning. I mean, they went back to back against May, and so I mean, I think this is just a really good test for him, that to show how good this kid can be, because he's done it in the past for us. And yes, he's had some struggles, and that's going to happen in your career. And I think all those things are going to make you better. Everything makes you better. It's just growth. Every time you get the ball, you start and you learn. If you have that mindset, I think he carried that into tonight, and different people approached him. There were different voices, but I believe that we had a similar message, and I think he heard. And the trust was very high going into this game. So he's just got to carry over the same mindset into the next start.
And you mentioned that message, that conversation being a little different than normal. What was different about it exactly?
I mean, I just wanted to see what was in his mind, rather than, what I described earlier, pitching, getting guys out, my stuff against those hitters. And he was honest. He was honest about thinking about some things that he couldn't control. And, I'm not going to go down that road, and say the entire conversation here, but just to describe how it was, that's what we talked about. And I try to simplify things for him, and to think of the things that he can control, which is our in between start routine that he does, and then in game like tonight. So I thought he did a good job. I mean, his focus level was high, and he was the kid that we know. His poise, his the ability, the pitch ability. I mean, everything. He picked up a guy at second base. That's it. Like, you go and play, you pitch. That's what got you here to the big leagues. I mean, you shouldn't change your approach, your mindset.
Bruce, you're up.
Louis, you've won 6 out of 8, and many of those games against quality opponents, just like you faced tonight. Any more significant, any more meaningful for you?
Yeah, I think the teams that are at the top of their division, Bruce, like those are really good tests for us, and just to show the level of baseball that we're playing and that we're not treating any opponent differently. Like I don't think we try to do too much tonight. We've been playing the same game now for a good number of days, and regardless of what team we're playing, we just go ahead and play. Like I don't think the guys just become timid against certain teams, regardless of their probably standing positions. We don't look at that. We know what when a team has been playing hot, when a team's been playing good baseball, but that doesn't tell us that we gotta upgrade our game or do anything like that. We just get ready to play every day, knowing our opponents and what they have and their tendencies. So I think that's what's special about this, that the guys are staying neutral regardless of who the opponent is. So, it was a good example. This is a good team we're playing. We got 3 more games against them, then tomorrow is the biggest one, right? So we got to go one game at a time. We got to prepare once again tomorrow.
Next question is from Justin Toscano.
Hey, Louis, the results of Dom hitting third obviously worked out pretty well, but did you like everything you saw there enough to hit him there third the next couple days or even going forward?
Yeah, we feel good using him there. I think that Pete's protection can help for him to get some pitches, but he's got to do some things as well. He's got to make some adjustments, and I think he did them tonight, Justin. He was better with his lower half. He needs to do that tomorrow again. He did it for a week when we were on the road trip in Arizona and then in San Diego, and he hit the 2 homers dead center, and then that's what he did tonight. He hit the homer to that center, and he's going to be able to drive the ball and hit for power if he stays within his legs. So, he's there for us. We feel that he's going to take off at some point, and he's going to get our offense going. I mean, some guys are going to be quiet certain days, and some guys are going to come in and contribute the way we expect. I'm glad that today was Dom that did it for us.
And then May has been a little susceptible to the long ball in his last 7+ innings. Is there anything specific you've seen that's been different with him over that stretch?
First of all, is the power supply, the fastball. I thought the stuff was crisp, for me, I just think that he made the wrong pitch both times. Rizzo was on that fastball, May's a guy that has a good changeup and slider, and then he can use it, keep batters off balance. But I think Rizzo was just gearing up, ready for the fastball. He hit that foul ball against the slider or secondary pitch that he threw to him. It means that his bat was out there. It was out front. So, and then with wisdom, he had threw that fastball by him, and then he went to the slider and then almost ran into his barrel there. The kid's strong. So for me, it's just a wrong pitch there twice, and it both turned out into homers. I mean, he's a power supplier. He's going to give us some homers. He's a fly ball pitcher that supplies power. But we trust his stuff. He's going to get big outs for us, no doubt. He should be ready to get back in there tomorrow.
Keisha, you're up.
Hey, Luis, and knowing that you have Taiwan, Jake, and Stroman taking the mound for the rest of the series, was tonight's series opener maybe the game you were most concerned about? And how much of a relief is it that this one ended up in a win?
Well, big game for us tonight. Every game that we win is huge. I'm very excited for Petey, the way he threw the ball, and very excited for everyone that got in there and threw. But I mean, our biggest focus is in the game of the day. So, tonight was like that, and then tomorrow is going to be the biggest game of this series. We got to take that approach. We can't leave that focus of the day of what we're doing. And we know that ahead of us, we have a good number of games in less days, but we can't even think that far ahead. So it's my job and the coaching staff as well, everyone here, to keep the guys within that mindset and that focus of staying, in what their feet are in the game of the day. And so that's why I can't say that this was the most important and just think that, we're just going to go ahead and win the next 3 because we have, our 3 best starting pitchers going. We got to get to tomorrow and see what happens and how the game unfolds. We'll have a plan. It never goes perfect, but we do get prepared to play the game of the day. So that's for me. That's my biggest. I don't want to say concern, but that's my biggest focus.
Thank you.
Rich, you're up.
Louis, continue to talking about the starting pitching. In your last 5 games, your starting pitchers have thrown 30 innings and given up 3 runs. Is this the best 5-game stretch you've seen as a group from them all year? And if so, how confident does it make knowing the schedule is going to get challenging?
Yes, yeah, no, we've connected a lot of quality starts. I think it has to be the best we've had, or if not, really close. But that's comforting, especially not having Castro for the last couple of days. And even tonight, we didn't have a couple of guys. And yesterday, we didn't have a couple of guys. So it's good for us that we get that length from our starters. Our relievers are going to need it. Now we can, think of those games that we have ahead and say we might get there. We may be fresh because we're getting this all these quality starts from the guys. So we pray that things keep going that way. Every single starter that's here right now in our rotation, our 5-man, they work really hard to get better and to perform the way they're performing out there. I know some haven't had the consistency throughout the year, but they work really hard to do that. So I'm glad they did it this time through. I mean, we're looking forward, that they can do it the next time through. So it'll help our bullpen a lot, especially with the amount of games that we're going to have in less days. So very proud of the guys.
Luis, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Zach. Good night, everyone.
Once again, members of the media, players will not report to the stadium until 4 p.m. tomorrow. We will allow field access starting at 3:30, but there will most likely be no batting practice. This concludes tonight's post-game Zoom. Thank you for attending, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. We'll close the Citi Field press box at 12:45 a.m. Thank you.